Hello, welcome to News at 10 on TV3. It is also live on DSTV channel 279. My name is Grace Hamwa. Sorry. First, let's take a look at the news highlights. Close to 30,000 newly trained teachers across the country will begin the maiden teacher line seizure examination tomorrow, September 10. The candidates are those who completed colleges of education this year and those who read education in the various universities and colleges and want to be employed by the Ghana Education Service to teach in public schools. Also, the Ministry of Health, Kweku Agyeman-Manu, has assured unemployed bonded nurses and midwives of receiving their appointment letters by the close of the year, having been cleared by the Finance Ministry. He was speaking on the sidelines of the Media Performance Health Review Conference at Insuta in the Ashanti region. Opinion leaders of the Adaklu traditional area have requested government to absorb the community senior high technical school in fulfillment of a 2016 campaign promise. The decision, according to the leaders, is to avert its imminent collapse since the community can no longer support its management. The Jehovah's Witness Assembly has announced a mass burial for 6 of its members who died in the Adeja flood disaster on Thursday. The decision was reached after a meeting with family of the deceased. On the international front, 19 people were killed when a small passenger plane crashed into a lake as it tried to land in thick fog in central South Sudan. Only 4 people, including 2 children, survived the crash, according to government official Taban Ebel Aguk. Many thanks for joining us. Let's go to our first story. Close to 30,000 newly trained teachers across the country will begin the maiden teacher line seizure examination tomorrow, September 10. The candidates are those who completed colleges of education this year and those who read education in the various universities and colleges and want to be employed by the Ghana Education Service to teach in public schools.
Examination will be held in all colleges of education in the country except Christ the Teacher, Akim-Odan Methodist, St. Ambrose, McCoy, Cambridge, Jackson and Holy Spirit colleges of education. A total of 28,910 are expected to write the 3-day examination, which will begin with essential professional skills on Monday, September 10. Candidates will write the paper on literacy on Tuesday, September 11, and numeracy on Wednesday, September 12. Applicants have had to pay a registration fee of 220 cedis. The introduction of the examination to be conducted by the National Teaching Council was met with a lot of agitations by some teacher associations and trainee teachers. The National Association of Graduate Teachers, NAGWAT, and NAT kicked against the decision primarily because they claim governments did not consult them prior to introducing the examinations. NAGWAT argued the new policy, which includes giving new job titles to teachers and applying for license, among others, have not been well thought through. But according to the Council, the purpose of the examination is to enable qualified teachers to acquire a professional license to ply their trade. The licensing examination is also aimed at improving the professional standing and status of teachers and to register teachers in Ghana. The initiative, according to the GES, is prescribed by law and part of the education sector's professional development, which the NTC explained is mandated by the Education Act 2000, Act 778, Section 9.
Let's now speak with Ecole Vincent Asefua, who is Head of Public Relations Unit of the Ministry of Education. Good evening to you, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Good evening, Grace. How are you?
Very well, thank you. So is everything set for the Line-CJA examinations tomorrow?
Let me say a very good evening to your cherished viewers. Great, as you clearly indicated, tomorrow on the 10th of September, we can tell you from the outfit of the Ministry of Education, the National Teaching Council, that teachers or trainee teachers who have registered will be writing their exams tomorrow. It is going to span for a period of 3 days. And so tomorrow, if you are a teacher or a trainee teacher and you want to have a license so that you can practice in this country, they are going to write their exams tomorrow. What they are going to write tomorrow is the Ghana Teacher Standard. It's exhibits that as a professional teacher, you may be able to espouse those standards so that we can give some sort of learning outcomes that we all desire to have in this country. On Tuesday, that is on the 11th of September, the teacher trainees are also going to write literacy exams. Then they can finish with it on Wednesday, where they write the numeracy exams, where we can test their simple arithmetics that they've learned from their various campuses. So I can tell you for a fact that all is set for tomorrow. All the 38 colleges across the country will be centers for the exams, and we hope that everything will go on. Let me take this opportunity to wish all the teacher trainees who are going to write their exams the very best of luck. We wish them well too.
So when should we be expecting the release of the results as well as granting of the license after the examination?
Well, it will be very difficult to, as it were, indicate clearly when the results are going to be out. But we hope that it wouldn't span for more than 1 month, because these are teachers that the Ghana Education Service, the Ministry of Education, so desire to engage them early so that we can improve the learning outcomes that we so desire to make sure that we receive or have in this country.
And how long will the license last for it to be renewed?
Well, if you write the exam this year and you are engaged by the Ghana Education Service to practice fully as a professional teacher in this country, it is renewable every year. It's supposed to be like the way lawyers renew their licenses every year. Medical doctors, if you like, also renew their licenses. And so every year, you should be able to renew your license before you can practice as a professional teacher.
So does a renewal come with a fee?
It is very difficult for me to point to it at the moment, but I know that renewal will be the sole mandate of the National Teaching Council, who is supposed to, as it were, give the background as to how the renewal of the licenses are going to be done. Normally, what will be done is that there are consultations at the level of the various PRINCOFs, that is the principals of the various colleges, who come together in consultation with the National Teaching Council to decide on the modalities of how some of these things are supposed to be done. So I'm sure in no time we will be able to communicate to the Ghanaian public how it's going to be done.
Thank you, Ecole, for joining us. Ecole Vincent Asefua is Head of Public Relations Unit of the Ministry of Education. You're still watching news at 10 on TV3. We're back with more stories after this break. Don't go away. Welcome back. This is News at 10 on TV3, also live on DSTV channel 279. President Akufo-Addo says the 500 million cedis Ghana incentive-based risk-sharing agriculture lending scheme by the Bank of Ghana is to support farmers access loans at reasonable rate. He made this known at the 2018 Africa Green Revolution Forum in Kigali, Rwanda.
Between 2014 and 2016, Ghana's agriculture witnessed an average growth over the period of 2.5%. In 2014, Ghana's agriculture grew at 4.65%, 2.78% in 2015, and 2.95% in 2016. President Akufo-Addo told the gathering Ghana decided to revive her agriculture with the launch of government's flagship program, Planting for Food and Jobs. The result of government's agric policies, the president said, was an increase in the production of maize from 1.9 metric tons per hectare in 2016 to 3 metric tons per hectare in 2017, an increase in the production of rice from 2.7 metric tons per hectare in 2016 to 4 metric tons per hectare in 2017.
The 3 years before we took office, Ghanaian agriculture grew at something around 2.5% per annum, 2 or 3% of growth. In the country where population growth is at 3%. What we decided to do to revive Ghana is to devise a program which we call Planting for Food and Jobs.
President Akufo-Addo announced government has put in place measures for farmers to access cheap credit.
We're devising also financial instruments that would enable farmers to have access to credit. The most important of which is the one that is being done with the collaboration of the Bank of Ghana. The Bank of Ghana is establishing a fund, some 500 odd million cedis, which is roughly over $100 million, which is going to act as a sort of insurance for the commercial farmers, banks to be able to give out loans at reasonable rates to the farmers.
President Akufo-Addo told the gathering his government has been supplying fertilizer to farmers to boost yield. The forum had as part of its panel Rwandan President Paul Kagame, Deputy President of Kenya William Ruto, and Prime Minister of Gabon Emmanuel Nsonze Ngondet.
Still on agriculture, cocoa farmers are being supported to adapt better farming and management practices to improve yield. In this report, Ibrahim Mohammed looks at the impact of cocoa certification on farmers' income.
Small-scale farming dominates Ghana's cocoa sector, with production averaging between 1.2 and 2.2 hectares per farmer. The sector is confronted with a number of challenges related to smallholder production, including bad farming practices, contributing to low cocoa tree productivity, low income for farmers and other farmhands. 65-year-old Olivia Manu has been working on a 1.01 hectare farm for 15 years at Atobrakrom in the Amansia West district of the Ashanti region. She harvests less than 3 bags of cocoa from her entire farm at the end of each crop season.
My cocoa yields are low because of bad practices. I will encourage others who are also experiencing low yields to join the certification program.
The certification program is aimed at improving the livelihoods of farmers through sustainable farming methods through the cocoa supply chain, including better drying and fermentation practices. 34-year-old Stephen Atta says earnings from his 2.83 hectare cocoa farm have shot up since he enrolled under the program.
After the training through the certification program, we are able to prune the cocoa trees and also adopting other best practices, which are helping us improve and increase yield.
Program officer in charge of training and partnership at UTZ, Maurice Amo, explained the difference in terms of production levels.
Now that we have a higher number of farmers in certification, they are doing the right thing, they are implementing good agricultural practices. which is leading to higher yields. I'm not saying that those that are not part of the certification process are not also implementing good agricultural practice. But as I mentioned earlier, once you are part of the certification group, you get access to inputs, you get access to training and extension. This will contribute to increasing yield.
To make cocoa cultivation more lucrative and sustainable, Cocoa Board has advised farmers to adopt hand pollination and pruning to increase their yield.
News at 10 is back shortly.